Yes, hi there. I'm going to go by the name, I'm going to just call you Richard. Okay, let's take a look at your email. And you say, I've been studying regularly and for now I have two questions. Number one, are your listening and reading practice more difficult compared to the real TOEFL or easier? Good question. I'm going to say my reading passages, most of them, I'm going to say that they are easier, a little bit easier than the actual TOEFL IBT. My listening practice test, in many cases, probably more difficult and a lot less organized. My lectures are more authentic. They're not as neatly packaged as you will see on the TOEFL as what I'm using in my online course. Okay, so you said, I asked this because I've done some of your practice, I guess, easily. I also study your vocabulary words. And my first try got 88 on the test. I'm worried whether I have to continue focusing on that or I can start to focus on speaking and writing regarding I only have 3 weeks for my first attempt. Good question. If you're getting 88% on my vocabulary quizzes, especially on the final exam, it is time to move on, my friend. You have adequate vocabulary, you have a good base, there's no need to spend any more time in my vocabulary section if you have met that goal. You'll notice, Richard, each of my steps, there is a specific guideline that I think you should meet in order to move on to the next step. So I think with my vocabulary, it's about 85%. You've met that, you're done. With my pronunciation, it's getting a pronunciation score of 5.1 out of 7 or higher on that part of my course. That means you're done with that. The grammar, there's not really a pre-test or practice test in that. I need to make one. I haven't done that yet. But if you go through all those lessons, you're okay. Now, on the listening, if you're scoring around 80 to 85% on my listening practice test, you're in good shape. Definitely in good shape. If you do 5 or 6 practice tests in a row and each time you're scoring higher than 85, it's time for you to move on. Now with the reading, what you're trying to do here, Richard, is to go through my reading practice test and get higher or read faster than 300 words a minute. That's what you're trying to do, and you want to get 80% or higher on that practice test. So once you've done that, I think you're definitely going in the right direction. Okay, with my writing, once you're consistently scoring 24 points on the independent and integrated writing task, you have finished that section. And once you're consistently scoring 26 points or higher on the speaking, you have finished that section. Right? So let's go to your second question. You said, I started to look at the integrated writing. I figured out in the internet the lecture always opposes the article. I hate to say always. I'm going to say many times. Then say, I decided to practice. I realized that your integrated practice does not always follow the idea of always opposing. Exactly. See, I'm not trying to make you just a TOEFL test-taking machine. I'm trying to get you to think. So sometimes my integrated writing practice test, the listening will oppose information in the reading, sometimes. Other times, information in the listening is giving an example to support an idea that was made in the reading passage. Maybe there is a cause-effect type relationship between the information in the lecture and the reading passage. So mine are not always opposing. It's true. So you said, wouldn't it be more productive, focused, specific that the TOEFL asks? Yeah, I understand your question, but remember that what I'm doing is I'm building your academic English proficiency not just to score high on the TOEFL test, but I'm trying to help you do better if you need English either for professional, academic, or personal purposes. So you'll notice that my website doesn't always exactly deal with TOEFL type testing. Some of it does, like my speaking and writing tasks, and they do focus sometimes on TOEFL type questions, but even if you don't need the TOEFL and you go through my course, you can still benefit because you will advance your academic English proficiency. Alrighty, so anyway, I hope I've given you some good ideas on what you're doing and how you're doing it, and keep up the good work.